Well, in this context, he's not meaning you just sit around and go, well, it'd be really nice if I had food to eat. It'd be really nice if blessings came my way. No, that's not what he means. But what he does mean is that we're trusting the Lord to provide for us. We're desiring blessing from the Lord, but we're also expecting blessing from the Lord. You read in the book of James, when James talks about our prayer, that he says that we should ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. Let not that man assume that he shall receive anything from the Lord. What's James saying? When we ask the Lord for help, what should we do? I'm in a time of distress, and I am hoping that the Lord will provide a way through it. It can also mean that I expect that the Lord is going to provide me with a blessing. So many of the things that Isaiah wrote about in the book of Isaiah, Isaiah is called the messianic prophet because in addition to telling the people they were going to spend time in captivity and they were going to spend time in this time of distress and trouble, he also said on the other end of that, the Messiah is going to come. On the other end of that, you're going to return from captivity. And on top of that, and he's going to bless the whole world through his coming. And so they were waiting around, or they were to wait around for that blessing from the Lord. So relying upon God for protection and salvation from trials, dependence with expectation, waiting upon the Lord also means that I'm ready to hear the Lord's instruction. Look at Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 34. Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 34. Proverbs 8:34. Here we read, "Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the post of my door." Blessed is the man that is waiting on me. He's listening to me. He's waiting at my gates. Think about it this way. To wait upon the Lord in many ways could mean that I am waiting to hear what he wants me to do. Now, you and I aren't to stand around doing nothing to wait to hear what God wants us to do today because he's already told us. To wait upon the Lord is to look in this book, and when I see in this book something I ought to be doing, I ought to be doing it. To wait upon the Lord means that I am going to hear what he has to say. Right? In a sense, we don't need to look at waiting upon the Lord as sitting around and just waiting for something to happen. But waiting upon the Lord is much more akin to waiting on a table at a restaurant. Have any of you ever waited tables before? There was a time in my life that I did, right? And what you're doing is you're waiting to hear what they need. You're coming around and asking occasionally, what do you need? And then when they tell you what they need, what do? Do you go, oh, you're thirsty? That's too bad. Oh, you got the wrong order? I'm really sorry about that. Maybe next time. No, waiting upon them means that when you recognize they need something, you provide that need. When you recognize that there's something that you can do for them, you do it. And so waiting upon the Lord, yes, it means that I'm waiting on blessings to come from God. Yes, it means that I'm hoping and trusting in God to help me through a time of trouble or a time of trial. But it also means if God needs me to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm going to wait upon the Lord in obedience unto him. To wait upon the Lord is to calmly expect all things from him patiently. It is unquestioning obedience to his will and not mine. It is having my spiritual senses alive, alert, expectant, and separated unto him. And it's not idle waiting, but preparedness